Hello, friends. Welcome to the next session on Artificial Intelligence lecture series. Today, we are starting with a new unit that is soft computing. And under that new unit, we are talking about artificial neural network. I hope everyone had a healthy and safe Diwali. So, why we call it artificial neural network? Why? Because we are trying to make the machines intelligent. We already seen different techniques in which we are trying to make machines learn something, right? So another technique to make machines learn like human beings is artificial neural network model, right? In short, we also call it as ANN. So ANN is nothing but an information processing model that is inspired by the way the biological nervous system works, like our brain, how it processes the information, right? So it's trying to simulate the way our brain processes the information. So in case of artificial neural network, it is composed of large number of highly interconnected processing elements, that is nothing but the neurons. They work together to solve a specific problem, right? So another way to make your machines intelligent. So let us go ahead. So artificial neural network, it's a network which can solve artificial intelligence problems. Decision making tools which can be used. It is also a decision making tool, you can say. It can be used to model complex relationships between input and output. ANN is a supervised learning system built of a large number of simple elements called neurons or perceptrons. Now, basically, supervised learning is nothing but a learning in which we teach or we train the machine using data which is well labeled. That means some data is already tagged, it already has a label associated with a correct answer. After this, the machine is provided a new set of data so that the supervised learning algorithm analyzes the training data set and produces the correct outcome from the labeled data. So here AI system, that is the artificial intelligence system, is specifically told what to look for. Thus the model is trained until it can detect the underlying patterns and relationships, enabling it to yield good results when presented with never seen before data. Is it fine? It is supervised learning system. There are two types of learning system, we are supervised and unsupervised. Today we'll talk about supervised learning system. Okay, now each neuron can make simple decisions and feeds those decisions to the other neurons organized in interconnected layers. The concept will be more clear as we go ahead. Together, the neural network can emulate almost any function and answer practically any question given enough training samples. Training sample is nothing but the training data and computing power. Now remember this training sample or the training data is very important. The type of data we give to train the machine will decide the accuracy of the machine. If the training data is really good data, the machine will be trained good and it will give you the good results. A simple neural network has only three layers of neurons: an input layer which accepts the independent variables or the input of the model, a hidden layer where actual the computations are carried out, an output layer that generates predictions. Right? Let us look at a simple model of artificial neural network, a mathematical model for a neuron. Okay, now this is a neuron, right? It has input links A1, right? These are the input links, and you can see with each input link there's a weight associated, right? With the input link AI, it has a weight WIG, right? So each link has a weight associated with it, and it also has something called a bias, right? A bias weight. This is a bias link, right? Whose value is always 1. Now, these input are given, are passed to the input function. Now, what is the input function? Input function is nothing but the summation of the weight and the input. Product of weight into input, right? AI is the input and the weight associated with AI is WIG. Is it fine? It is a summation of input which is product of weight and input. Now, once this input functions is carried out, is done, the output of the input function is fed to the activation function. Now this is our activation function. Now what activation function's input is? Summation of weight into input. That is Wij into AI. plus bias. Bias is always 1, but bias also has weight associated with it, that is W0. Is it fine? Now, after the activation function, what is generated is the output, right? So this is the output, and these are the output links. Is it fine? G is the activation function which is applied to the input function, and then you get the desired output. The simple model of mathematical model of a neuron. Is it fine? Okay. Now, let us look at a simple artificial neural network. See, here we spoke about a single neuron. Now we are talking about a simple ANN. Now, you can see here how many inputs it has. It has two input values, x1 and x2. This is the input layer, this is the hidden layer, and the output layer. Fine. Now, x1 is an input to the neuron I1, x2 is an input to the neuron I2. Each neuron has a weight associated with it, right? So it has weight W1, it has weight W2. You also have a bias neuron, right, with the +1 value, and the weight B. The weight on this link is B. All these are fed to the hidden layer, right? Now, when you're feeding it to the hidden layer, our input function is applied, and then it will be what? It will be x1 into w1, x2 into w2 plus, right? x1 into w1 plus x2 into w2. And then you have overall plus of bias, which is fed to the hidden layer. In the hidden layer, an activation function is applied, which will give you the output value, that is y. Fine. So let us look at steps involved here. So what is step 1? Each input is multiplied by a weight. So input is x1 and associated weight with x1 is w1, right? So it is x1 into w1. Second input you have x2, so it is x2 into w2. Fine. Again I repeat, each input is multiplied by a weight. That is input into weight. Now step 2, what we do, all the weighted inputs, all the weighted inputs are added together with a bias B. So this is the sum now, right? So x1 into w1 plus x2 into w2 plus b. So this is the input function, and the output is what? Sum, or S, you can say. Is it fine? All these things are carried out like this, and it is fed to the hidden layer. Now, the sum is passed through an activation function f, and output is y. Is it fine? The sum, whatever you have calculated here, will be passed through the activation function f, and the output, after applying the activation function, whatever you get, the output is y. That is your output value. The simple way how a simple ANN works. I hope it is clear. Okay. Now, let's talk about the basic terminology, because before we actually start with the implementation of neural network, I think you should be aware of what are the basic terms associated with neural networks. See, neural networks and artificial neural networks, I'll be talking interchangeably, but even if I say neural network, it will be by default an ANN. Okay. The very basic element of neural network is the neurons, and we know neurons are connected with the connections, right? They are connected by connections. Connections have weights associated with them, and these neurons with the inputs are called as input layer. Then the data from input layer goes to the hidden layer, right? Then you have activation function, you have variance, you have error function, you have hyperparameters. These are the few. The list is very big, but we'll talk about these important terms what we'll be using. So let us start with the very first one, that is neuron. Okay, so it is a basic unit of neural network. It gets certain number of inputs and bias values. Now here you can see there are 3 neurons. These are the 2 input neurons, and this is a hidden neuron. When a signal value arrives, right? In case of our biological neurons, we call it as signal, but in case of neural network, we call ANN, we call it as a value, right? When a value arrives, it gets multiplied by its weight, that is x1 into w1, x2 into w2. If neuron has 2 inputs, then it has 2 weights. Of course, it has 2 inputs, it has 2 weights, which values which can be adjusted during the training. Now, it also has a bias value, right, which is always +1, and B is the weight associated with this bias. Is it fine? Very simple, the base concept, that is neuron. And when we are working programming on it, we'll be calling it as a node. Now, next what you have is a connections. You can already see it connects one neuron in one layer to the neuron on the other layer, or maybe on the same layer, right? Now you can see each neuron is connected to each and every other neuron on the next layer. Fine. Now connections always has a weight value associated with it, maybe W1, W2, W3. I have not put it here. Now goal of the training is to update these weights which will be associated with these connections to decrease the loss or the error when you are training your neural network. Next, what you have is the input layer. The input layer is the most responsible layer for receiving the inputs, and these inputs are loaded from some external sources, like you might have it as a CSV file, a text file, a web service, etc. Right? So these are the some measures to put the input to your neural network model. Now, this is the first layer in the neural network. It takes the input, again I have said values here, and passes them to the next layer. It doesn't apply any operation on the input signals. Remember, its job is just to accept the input. And it has no weights or bias values associated. Fine. The number of neurons in an input layer depends on the shape of the training data. Now, how do we know how many neurons we should have in our input layer? That means it decides depending on the type of data you're giving as an input. So we call it as input shape. Now what is input shape? It is nothing but a matrix. We pass it to the input layer. So our network's input layer, if it has two neurons and it expects two values of each one sample, sample is nothing but one input value, one input record you can say, right? Or sample. Now desired input shape for our network here is now 1, 2, 1. That means total number of samples input data what I'll be giving to train my network will be one record or one sample, which will have two different input types which will be fed, right? And it will be fed one at a time. Okay. So if you feed it one sample at a time, this is what the matrix will look like. But if you feed 100 samples, then the input shape will be, you have total 100 inputs. Each input has two input variables and we'll be feeding one at a time. Is it fine? The shape of the input. Of course, it depends on the number of attributes what we'll be inputting per record or per sample. Next, what we have is an output layer. The output layer is mostly responsible for producing the final output results. Neural networks generate their predictions in the form of a set of real values or Boolean decision. Boolean is either true or false, 0 or 1. Each output value is generated by one of the neurons in the output layer. Output layer can have more than one neuron, and each neuron will generate an output value. The output layer takes the input from a which are passed in from the layers before it. It may be a hidden layer, and performs the calculations through the neurons, and then the output is computed. Remember why again we are talking about the computation here, because bias values applied at each and every layer of the neural network. In complex neural networks, the output layer receives inputs from the previous hidden layers. If a neural network is too large, then by default the output layer will be receiving the inputs from the previous hidden layers. Next, what we have is the weights. So each neuron is given a numeric weight. You can see here, each neuron is given a numeric weight which is there on its connection. Now, a weight represents the strength of the connection between units. If the weight from node 1 to node 2 has greater magnitude, that is greater value, it means that neuron 1 has greater influence over neuron 2. Right? Now weights near 0 means changing this input will not change the output. The weights are near 0 means changing this input will not change the output. Negative weights means increasing this input will decrease the output. Remember again I repeat, negative weights mean increasing this input will decrease the output. A weight decides how much influence the input will have on the output. Why? Because when we are calculating, it is always multiplication of input into weight. It is product of input and weight. And then we carry out the summation of all this. The weights together with the activation function defines each neuron's output. Now, neural networks are trained by fine-tuning weights to discover the optimal set of weights that generates the most accurate predictions. We are using neural networks specially for predicting something, right? So first time when you give the weights and the inputs, remember inputs cannot be changed. They are constant because this is the input what you want to train. But what will be adjusting every time is we'll be adjusting these weights. So if you want to get the correct input, we train our neural network by adjusting these weights. Okay. Now next, the important one which actually decides the computation, that is activation function. So basically the activation function decides whether the neuron is activated or no, right? So what is the input to the activation function is nothing but your input function, that is weight into input value plus bias, summation of all this. Now common activation functions, of course, the most common one is sigmoid, hyperbolic tangent, rectified linear unit, etc. There are many depending on the application or the data what we are using it, activation function should be decided. It squashes the value in a smaller range, right? It squashes, it takes the values to the smaller intervals. A sigmoid activation function squashes values between range 0 to 1, right? That means it makes or it brings down the output values into the range 0 to 1. Activation function helps generate output values within an acceptable range. That is why we call it as it squashes. And their non-linear form is crucial for training the network. Okay, next what we have is a hidden layer. So we already learned about the input layer which takes the input, output layer which gives you the output, right? Activation function which actually does the computation. You have the weight input function which has the weight and the input values as well as the bias. Now, the hidden layers are placed in between the input and the output layers. These are not visible to external systems and these are private to the neural networks. Hidden layers have neurons which apply different transformations to the input data. That is nothing but applying the activation function. One hidden layer is a collection of neurons stacked vertically, one above the other. For the large majority of problems, one hidden layer is sufficient. You can have number of hidden layers or you can have only one hidden layers. Even you have a freedom like how many neurons you want in a hidden layer. It may be one, it may be two, depending on the data what you have. Okay. But most of the times you can solve the problem using a single hidden layer. Now training set, a set of inputs for which the correct outputs are known, used to train the neural network. That is why we call it as supervised learning system. So to train, we already give them the set of training data with a well decided class label, like what will be the output once this is the input. Next, what we have is a bias, right? You can see here bias offset value. So bias offset is an extra input to the neurons and it is always 1, right? This makes sure it has its own weight also, that is B, right? This makes sure that even when all the inputs, that is A1, A2, A3, are all none or that is null, in fact all are 0, there's going to be an activation in the neuron. Why? Because this is +1. Fine. So bias neuron is used in every layer of the neural network. These are extra neurons added to each layer, right? These are the extra neurons added to the each layer, which stores the value of 1. When training neural networks, we try to balance between bias and variance. Now, what is bias? What it does, bias measures how well the model fits the training set, right? When you are training the data, how well you can get the expected output, right, from the model or the targeted output. Next is variance. It measures how well the model works with the unknown inputs that were not available during training. That is able to make accurate predictions on the validation set. See, when you have a neural network, you have a set of inputs. Now, this set of inputs is nothing but you have a set of training data set which already has the labels associated with it. When you give this input, a training data as an input and train your neural network, right? Once the neural network is trained, what you do, you give a set of data without any class label and you check whether it classifies or gives the right predictions. That is nothing but the calculation of variance where the accurate predictions are checked on the validation set which does not have the outputs associated with it, what we had in case of training data. Again, I repeat, training data already has its output, correct output associated with each sample. But in case of validation or validation data, it does not have, it is only the data and the model has to predict its correct output. Now, next what we have is the error or the loss function. It defines how far the actual output of the current model is from the correct output. That means a difference between what the model has predicted and what it should have predicted. Fine. The actual and the target. When training the model, the objective is to minimize the error function and bring output as close as possible to the correct value. For example, what we use is mean square error. It's a function which is used for regression task. Here loss is calculated by taking the mean of squared differences between actual, that is the target, and the predicted values. Right? The difference between what it should be and what it is. Loss is nothing but a prediction error of neural network, and the method to calculate the loss is called loss function. Now, loss is used to calculate the gradients, and gradients are used to update the weights of the neural network. Remember, we keep on updating the weights of the neural network till we get the expected output or something closer to the target. Now, another concept is hyperparameters. Now, this hyperparameter is nothing but a setting that affects the structure or operation of the neural network. Because here we decide whether we should add more hidden layers, whether we should add more neurons at the hidden layer, right? How many number of neurons should be there? It, so these includes learning rate, number of hidden layers, number of neurons in a given layer, etc. So what we do as we train our neural network to get the targeted output, we increase or decrease the number of layers, number of neurons, and see whether we can reach the targeted output. So you need to tune these hyperparameters. So tuning the hyperparameters refers to the process of choosing the best values of the hyperparameters. Now, tuning is the primary way to build a network that provides accurate predictions for a certain problem. Remember, it is it provides the accurate predictions. You can build a network which will give you the accurate predictions by tuning these hyperparameters. But again, these hyperparameters need to be manually tuned. You need to set them manually. That means you should assign the values manually and then you need to tune them. Is it fine? I hope the basic terminology is clear. So in this lecture, this video, we spoke only about a very basic model of neural network and the basic terminologies what you should be aware of when we are studying neural network. I hope the concept is clear. It was a small radio lecture. Now next lecture we'll talk about little bit feed forward neural network and then we'll talk about back propagation neural network. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.